Did anybody else happen to notice how short my highlight film was there? I promise you, if they had included all of my bad blocks and missed assignments, we would be here all night long. So I appreciate Texas for making me look good on those highlights. This is the second time that I've spoken to a Longhorn group. The last time was about a month ago. Coach Strong asked me to come in and speak to the team about the pride, passion, and the tradition of being a Texas Longhorn. I was going to give kind of the same speech that I gave to those guys, but after I took the R-rated parts out of the speech that I gave them, there was only a couple of sentences left, so I'll paraphrase what I told them. I started 9 years in the NFL, and the truth is I was always a Longhorn. Even during those years, college is one of the few choices that you control. Your high school team is determined by where you live. Your professional team is determined by drafts and contracts. But in college, you control your own destiny. And there's no better place to do it than the University of Texas. Thank you, everyone involved here for the Hall of Honor Committee for this tremendous honor. It's truly a reflection of my coaches and teammates, and I accept this award for them as football is the ultimate team game. I can't tell you how humbled I am to be here in front of all these great athletes and coaches here tonight. As a child growing up in Fort Worth, I always wanted to follow in the footsteps of people like Jerry Sizemore, Harley Sewell, Scott Appleton, Bobby Wunsch, and Bob McKay, to name a few. Texas had such a proud tradition of offensive linemen, and I always aspired to join that group. You know, after the 2015 Hall of Honor inductees were announced, there was a lot of buzz in Fort Worth, and especially among my Longhorn friends. So many people asked me for tickets to this event because they wanted to see the greatest college football player ever. I was kind of flattered. It's not often that an offensive lineman gets that kind of recognition. But leave it to my wife and kids to burst my bubble. Dad. We're talking about Vince. Most of you all don't know this, but Vince, Michael Huff, and I actually do have a lot in common. We're all from Texas. We were all Americans and first-round draft picks. We ran the 40 in under 5 seconds. Okay, maybe 6. And we've been to 2 Rose Bowls. My seats were unbelievable, by the way. But seriously, Michael, Vince, and all the athletes and staff being honored here tonight really do have something in common. We're Longhorns. We left our blood, sweat, and tears here to be part of the nation's best college athletics program. The last time I wore a burnt orange uniform was the 1994 Sun Bowl, where fellow Hall of Honor member Priest Holmes rushed for 4 touchdowns to help us defeat Mac Brown's Tar Heels. If you can't beat him, join him, huh, Mac? But no matter what colors you wear or careers you choose, when we leave Austin, we'll always be Longhorns. It's one of my life's greatest honors to be recognized for playing some small part in the history, tradition, and the standard of excellence of the University of Texas. I want to give special thanks to my wife, Christy, my 4 future Longhorns, Jack, Luke, Tommy, and James. Don't worry, Charlie's already met him. Thank you to my brother, Brent, who's one of my biggest supporters. Brent went to USC, and the look on his face after VY ran in the winning score was priceless. Thank you, VY. That's definitely a top 5 moment in my life. I want to especially thank my parents, who never missed a game and were always my biggest fans. I literally wouldn't be here without you. Thank you, Coach McWilliams, for recruiting me out of Fort Worth, John Makovic, my head coach here, and the late, great, old-school offensive line coach, Pat Watson, who believed in me from the beginning and was a great mentor and motivator for me. I'd also like to acknowledge my strength coaches, Daniel LeDuc, Rock Gullickson, Oscar Jacobson, and Angel Spazoff. I've always said that my greatest attribute was their willingness to suffer, and these guys were happy to indulge me. I'd also like to thank John Bianco with the SID office for the countless hours he spent with me covering my butt. Thank you for being part of the glue that has kept me connected to UT over the years. I would truly not be here without one of my former teammates and one of my closest friends, Scott Gooch. Scott Gooch won over my parents the week before I visited here and sweet-talked them like only Scott Gooch can. I was wavering in Texas a little bit, but after a long night on 6th Street and all the wonderful things Austin has to offer, he saved me from a potentially bad decision. Thank you, Scott. And finally, I'd like to thank all of my teammates, the great offensive linemen I had the privilege of playing with, and especially next to from the class of 1991. This evening is in their honor, and it's something that me and my family will cherish for a lifetime. Thank you again, and hook 'em horns.